Welcome to the Cincy Postcast. I'm Kevin Wallace, and before we get started with today's episode, I want to tell you about our great friends over at Streetside Brewery, because we are sponsored by, that's right, you heard them correct, Streetside Brewery, the best brewery in Cincinnati. That's my tagline that I've given them. I don't know if they're legally able to defend that, but you know, that's the one I'm giving them. And look, it is a fantastic spot. It is fantastic beer, delicious beer, great food, lovely staff. I'll sing praises all day long about the patio out there. The neighborhood is great. Go check it out, okay? You can get a nice dinner, go get a nice couple of drinks afterwards at Streetside, or start at Streetside and then go somewhere. You know, it's a great spot to go check it out. And what I love about Streetside is they are great, stewards of their community there. Absolutely love it. Go check out their Flying Pig Marathon party going on this Sunday. Kicks off at 7:30 with live music and beer specials. It's a blast. So huge thank you to Streetside for sponsoring this episode. And thank you, listener, for checking them out. And on today's episode, well, there's some FC Cincinnati news these days. There was a press conference with Chris Albright, general manager of the team, who made some comments about GAM, about player signings, about Neymar. The name's still out there, okay? It's a great bit of news. It's always fun to sort of pick the brain of the decision makers around this club. We followed up with some Patreon questions, including measuring FC Cincinnati's ownership group and giving some opinions on board games. And that's what everybody's looking for in a soccer podcast. We wrap it all up with some exciting news about Chicago Fire and who all is going to be attending that match, as well as the game itself. We preview the game as well. You throw it all together, you got yourselves a lovely little edition of the Cincy Postcast. Joining me to talk about all of that and more, I am joined by two gentlemen that are ready for this weekend. Joined by the Chief, not joined by Grayson. What? We are joined by Damon Gumbert of, it says here, the Post Cincy. Not sure what that is. Damon, welcome to the podcast, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Hey. So glad to have you here.
Are you here? Are you here specifically to return the heckle that I gave you from the Tunnel Club watching your performance at the press conference on Saturday? Is that what's going on right now?
I didn't even hear the heckle.
Now you
can. The music is aggressively loud.
Yes, it is so loud. I didn't even know you heckled until just now.
I'm sure it was insightful if I could remember. I was, I overserved myself a little bit that evening. So as is wont to do.
The Tunnel Club is a dangerous place.
It'll get you. It'll get you.
Aren't familiar with the alcohol arrangement in Tunnel Club. It is self-serve, folks.
Yeah. Even if I could afford it, that would not be good for my health if I could do that on a regular basis.
Correct. Well, now that I have both of you here, I can finally get off of my chest a complaint, an old man complaint I have that I'm sure both of you can relate to on some level, but I truly feel like an old man bringing this complaint. And I know this complaint resonates with the older crowd because I literally saw today Marty Brenneman struggling with this exact same issue. My local Kroger, mixing up and changing up the entire floor plan. Things are in radically different places.
Hold on. How have you gotten this far in your life not knowing that this is what grocery stores do on a regular basis? Because the last thing they want is you getting comfortable running in and running out for just the thing you need. They've got to keep changing it.
Here's the I can understand a little bit about they had this weird candy section that didn't need to be there. They've moved things to fill in that space. Great, fine, that works. There's a section that is the dairy section where you will find yogurts and eggs and things like that. And there are two refrigerator aisles facing each other. and they literally just switched the products from one to the other. The core items in the aisle are the same. I'm going insane.
No, this is what happens right here. You've officially graduated to old man takes when you're mad about things happening at the grocery store.
Yeah.
The next one will be when you start to say, hey, remember when they sold something at the grocery store that they don't do anymore? Like, hey, remember when they had like a magazine section at the grocery store?
Yeah, I do.
Remember magazines? People used to get those.
You could get the video game demo disc in your PlayStation magazine or Nintendo, whatever. Oh, man.
Yeah, real ones remember begging mom or begging dad to get you the new Electronic Gaming Monthly when you were at the grocery store every time.
Not only did me and my brother have a subscription to EGM, we were in a bowling league at one point when I was in a bowling league. I was in middle school, and there were literally 85-year-old women in this bowling league as well. It ran the gamut. But there was a guy that saw my brother reading EGM. He's like, oh, yeah, I got a bunch of those. You want them? We're like, yeah, sure. He brought in banker boxes of the back catalog. It was amazing.
Nice. I at one point in my childhood subscribed to, at various intervals, Nintendo Power, Game Pro, Electronic Gaming Monthly, and then the official PlayStation magazine as well. I had to go official at some point.
Of course.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Only the best stuff in the world. But no, the grocery store complaint, that's welcome to adulthood.
Yeah.
Because there is no better complaint as someone that is getting older than things were better when I was more used to them. Yes. And I was more used to things being on this side of the aisle or that side of the aisle. It's a truer sign of aging than going gray.
Yeah. It's a very, I don't like change as I grow old take. Like it is very much a take of, and it's weird because they don't do it that often anymore, right? Like
just
those
often
kinds
enough.
of changes. Yeah. It's very rare. And so it's even more shocking when they do it.
Yeah. Fun time to bring this up too. Remember there used to be a podcast called Old Man Ultras? Welcome to that show. We did it. Yes.
A lot of people thought Old Man Ultras was a show. It wasn't. It was a status that would be passed around.
A thing you become. They just welcomes you into the club. At some point, it comes for us all. Kevin, I have a solution to your problem, though.
Okay.
All right. So you know who's responsible for this, right?
I assume somebody at Kroger, but please correct me.
It's somebody at Kroger. Mm-hmm. We have the headquarters downtown. Are you familiar with the trend of speed running the Scientology headquarters that's going on in LA right now?
Can I get to the CEO's office before they stop me?
We get all 12 of the listeners.
Okay. And
we start speed running the Kroger HQ headquarters until someone will address your complaint about the grocery store layout being changed.
This is very fun because based on sort of what I've picked up on in the Discord, about half the Discord works at Kroger, so this should be really fun.
Yeah. And the other half are lawyers.
The
so
other
you're
half
going to have
R&D
someone
lawyers.
It's the two spectrums.
we jump in on the speed running trend, and so like, what is more Scientology of Cincinnati than the Kroger Corporation?
Probably P&G, but I see
probably P&G. Point. As soon as I said that, I realized it was probably P&G.
Oh God. The other one I've had, David, I'm curious if you've had this because you lived here in your childhood, you moved away, you moved back the last couple of years. I had started doing this, that used to be a Blockbuster, or that used to be the Radio Shack. And so like you give directions and suddenly you're mentioning like 3 businesses that don't exist. So it's like, okay, you're going to turn left at the old Kroger. And you're going to turn right when you see where the Blockbuster used to be. Yeah, that's me.
I have definitely done that in Wisconsin. And I know people who have done it to me in Ohio. Or in Cincinnati specifically.
Right. You're going to want to make a left turn right where the ground round used to be. And it's like, oh no.
The other one I've heard is that you've officially reached either middle-aged or being old when you see a building being torn down that you remember being built. That's a good moment in your life that you've Yeah.
The European mind cannot comprehend.
Oh, God. Well, Damon, happy to have you on the show. If folks don't know, and shame on you if you don't, Damon is our newsman. Okay, he's covering the team. He's got press credentials. He is in most of the press conferences that you've heard about happening in the in and around the team, asking the questions. Post game in particular is where you'll find Damon Gumbert. And today, though, we'll something extra for you. What happened today?
Chris Albright had a little press conference after training today. So I went out to Milford, out to Mercy Health Training Center. Got there literally as training was starting because I'm always on time. And
important.
Yeah. And we watched the little training. Couldn't see a damn thing because it was raining, and we hid underneath the awning right next to the building. So all I could tell was that like Nick Hagelin was back in training, and I think Miazga like was in and out, and that was it. I couldn't tell if anyone else was in. Yeah, and then after training, we talked to Kevin Dinke for a second. Got heckled a little bit by a wandering Matt Miazga, and then we asked Chris Albright some questions.
So I guess we saw it reported today, obviously from you, and we saw some video that's come up on the post Cincy socials so far. What was your biggest takeaway from the comments that Chris Albright offered to everyone this morning? Because I know Grayson, if he was here, he would be saying right now that Albright should have been out in front of, in his opinion, should have been out in front of the media and in front of the fans as represented by, the media asking these questions and putting information out there to the public sooner. So what was your biggest takeaway from Albright's appearance this morning and his availability this morning? Yeah.
So actually I had yesterday when I found out this was happening, I had a conversation with John Horlander about this. And I said, so what's going on? Like, this kind of seems like random timing. Are you guys announcing something? Like, what's happening? And he said he's been trying to nail this down for a while. Like, he's been trying to make this happen for a while. And it just never like lined up with Chris Albright's. Like, he's just always on the move. He's always working. So this was the first time he could get him to like stay still for a couple seconds to answer some questions. And I think he said that he wants to make it a regular thing.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. Okay. So that Chris can come out, he can talk about the state of the team. I know we asked him like, what do you think about this start, which has not been great. And he was like, obviously, when we set this team up, we expected certain things, and those things have not happened. Matt Miazga has not stayed healthy. Teenage Davey has not regained, whatever skill he had, 2 years ago. Like all these different things that have happened. And he's just like, we didn't expect that going into the season. And I think it was nice of him to admit that. Like, yeah. Obviously, I don't think anyone asked him, like, would you change anything? I don't think he also would have answered that question.
Right. Yeah.
But it's just kind of like, it's nice for him to like go into it and be like, this is what we were expecting. This is what's happening. And we're going to roll with the punches.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's interesting to hear that put into voice, because I agree with you. I don't know that you're going to be fruitful asking him a question of, well, do you think that you made a mistake doing that? You're not going to do that, especially with Matt Miazga training right behind you and still hoping that you're going to get some decent minutes out of him, hopefully between now and when you have to make a decision on what to do with him in the summer window.
Yeah.
By the same token, I don't know, Kevin, my reaction to hearing that a little bit is, yeah, but Miazga's been injury prone for the last couple years, and Teenage Hadebe has been Teenage Hadebe for a while now. I don't know. I think that it's hard for me to believe that didn't factor into the thinking going into this year. Maybe I'm not being enough of an optimist. Maybe that's the cynical view on things, but it feels like these were calculated risks that maybe we or maybe the team undercalculated a little bit would be my read.
I think that's fair. I do think part of it is difficult to maybe go back to the point in time when these decisions were made and remember what the facts were then. Like Miazga was, as far as the team, everything that we saw, the team had more or less cleared him at the end of last year. He held himself out because he didn't feel right, which is fine and good to do that. And going into preseason, it certainly felt like and looked like he was going to be healthy. So I can understand that decision. And then obviously it's sort of blowing up in your face pretty quickly, both in preseason and then picking up the injury during the season. That the picking up the injury during the season was certainly the risk that they were willing to take. I think it's the preseason one that makes the whole decision look really not great. But Chief, to your point, Miazga and Hadebe taking a risk on both with how expensive they both are, I think that's the tricky one. I think you make one or the other, it's perfectly defensible. Like I'm not sure I would have been the one to say bring back Matt Miazga. Keep in mind, love Miazga, hoping he comes back. I'm rooting for the guy, to be clear, because obviously he's listening and I don't want him to beat me up. He's already threatening Damon at these training sessions.
He would beat us up. There's no doubt about that.
We gotta look out for Damon's sake. But purely business, you put me in the GMC. I'm not sure I would have brought him back, but I can understand the decision why. Reasonable people can disagree. And same with Teenage, okay, one more year, it's continuity. Sure, he's not the best guy in the world, but you're going to have to pay a bunch of money to bring in the new guy anyway. So ultimately it's kind of a wash. Let's bring him in. And if he works out, great. And if he doesn't, we're only on the hook for a year. I think either one makes sense in a vacuum. It's when you do both of them at the same time and they both failed. That's the other thing. If Miazga is playing at an all-star clip, we're not having this conversation.
No.
So
to me, the scenario that has always made the most sense for why the decisions were the way they were was that they were tending to trade one of the two.
Sure.
Or do something with one of the two. And then at that point, you have to pick both up, or you pick both, not have to, but you pick both up with the thought of we see if there's a market for either Teenage or Miazga. If we can get even $200,000 in GAM for one of them, that's a U22 spot right there.
Yeah.
And the only way this doesn't work out is if the situation happens like happened to FC Cincinnati, which is that one or both of them gets hurt in preseason. And then you are stuck in a situation where one has no trade value because they are hurt. And you can't trade the other one because you need that person to play. And so it feels like, I don't know, but that's the only scenario where picking both of them up makes sense.
Yeah.
And you sort of, you crapped out a little with Miazga not being able to play in the preseason and at least show himself off to have a trade market, or to be healthy enough that you felt comfortable seeing if there was something that you could get for Teenage Hadebe in that spot. I don't know. Otherwise, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to pick both of them up. We've talked about before, they're both on expiring deals. So if there's a question of how is this team going to readjust this offseason ahead of the sprint season or at the summer window, do you cut them both loose and then go have to sign a new player to likely a multi-year deal? Or do you just ride out the expiring contracts and then have a lot of resources available for whatever it is that you want to do. I don't know. It just seems like of all the things that has plagued this team at the start of the season, that feels like the most predictable of the issues this team has confronted.
Yeah.
And related to that, I guess, talking about money and salary, got some news on the resource front from FC Cincinnati. Damon, what did we learn on that front from Chris Albright about the resources this team has at its disposal for this year and beyond?
Yeah, nothing concrete, but he definitely said that we have GAM.
Hey,
where is it?
Hey,
stop speculating because no one knows. He made it seem like even the front office, or not the front office, the league doesn't really know what's going on with GAM. So
yeah,
don't even worry about it. They'll figure it out.
Yeah, I think the phrase he used was clerical error when referring to the league's GAM release showed FC Cincinnati had a whopping $0, or I guess not dollars, zero GAM available to them.
How does the league screw that up? Like, that's their number. Like, that's their fake money.
The other thing too, I don't know if folks saw this. Tom Bogert has been beefing with the MLS website recently about them not updating stats correctly. It
was bad.
Yeah,
we were looking up stats during the middle of the game, and they hadn't even said that the game had started yet. And this was like at halftime, and it's just like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, sorry for it's just like, this is your one job. It's like, and Carter, I get the privilege to sit next to Carter in the press box, and he was obviously working for the team. He has access to like StatCast from MLS. That wasn't even working.
And we've seen this too, where like you can go on the team's website and it'll show you the roster page, and it'll show guys as international players or as designated players that aren't that. Which is,
right,
whatever. It's always lagging. It's always a little behind. A lot of times it's guys who were DPs who just like the tag doesn't come off. Okay, like I can forgive a little bit of that. What kills me though is that they have now gotten in the habit of releasing these regular roster profiles outlining who is the U22, who is the DP, but they don't update the website. Like, what? You have the information. What is going on?
This is more boomer takes, man. Nobody uses websites anymore. Nobody uses websites.
Oh,
you go to a website, true. That's old man.
Damn.
We are just alienating the entire under 35 user base right here. This is tough. This is tough for the postcast right here. Well, Kevin, didn't you have a GAM calculation spreadsheet that you were working on?
Yes, actually.
What do you have us at? Because that's the thing, is that most of the information here is knowable.
Yes.
Like, they've made releases about most stuff. Now, there are a few things that we don't know that might give them access to more GAM. And that could be things like unannounced contract renegotiations where so-and-so player has signed a new deal. We speculated about this with Teenage Davey, that Teenage Davey would be signing a new deal to bring him down on a lower number, and you free up GAM that way. But even like the things where when do transfers hit the books, we know how much money they've gotten on all these sales. There's only so much you can convert to GAM. I have a hard time believing that there's a big clerical error absent some rule change we're not aware of.
Right. So, there's a couple of things that can throw this off, right? So one is, where is the GAM being used? Because you can use GAM to pay down a transfer fee. So like you can assume that Brian Ramirez's transfer fee is $3 million, right? But did we use all $3 million that we got in GAM for the sale of, say, Lucho Acosta or Alvaro Barreal? Did we use that to pay down his fee? I don't know. Did we use half of it? I don't know. So I have to assume in these cases, no, we haven't. And so I have, for example, Brian Ramirez, I'm estimating, because we still don't have the full salary numbers, so I'm estimating a $650,000 salary, $3 million transfer fee, amortized over the length of his contract at the time of reporting, puts his, which is, I think, 3 years, puts his budget charge at $1,715,000. His actual budget charge could be far less than that, but this is what I have to estimate with. So with all of that, I will tell you that the most amount of GAM that they could have, or I guess I should say salary flexibility that they could have, because it may not exist necessarily in GAM or TAM or salary cap, because again, I don't know which bucket they're allowed to pull from or they are pulling from. I got them at $3.25 million in available salary wiggle room on the current roster. At most. But I would have said before this, it's definitely not zero. Like that number never made sense. If you told me they had $500,000, I could believe it. But also keep in mind, anything you're taking out of that 3 million number, in my mind, you're also getting back in future windows. So like if Brian Ramirez's transfer fee was paid down via GAM, that means his budget charge is less, which means that changes the math in window after window. So you get it all back eventually, but yeah, that's the number I have right now.
So I can help with this a little bit,
please,
just because we were talking about it literally today.
Okay.
So I had a off microphone conversation with someone there, and they insinuated that maybe at different points they did not fully take like the full. So we know how the transfer works. Like we get what, 3 million out of the transfer.
You're allowed to convert up to $3 million per season of outgoing transfer fees, or no, incoming transfer fees into GAM specifically.
Okay. So it was insinuated to me that you don't have to take that all into one season. That you can take chunks over time.
Okay.
So they are still pulling money from Barreal, Lucho, Luca, and Brandon Vasquez. That was literally a name that was thrown out.
Wow.
Like they're still cashing in bits of GAM from those transfers out.
Is this like winning the lottery where like if you take the annuity, you get more money, but if you take the lump sum payout, you get your cash up front, but you don't get as much? Like, do we get a GAM bonus for spreading it out over a number of years? Is that how this works?
I doubt that.
I mean, that would be some ultimate Chris Albright, like gangster galaxy math. Like, no. Yeah. We're going to take the bigger payout over a longer amount of time. We're saving for a rainy day here.
It is wild to think, though, that there is like this ever growing snowball of like available GAM bank that, sure, they can only pull up to $3 million per season, but so long as they don't empty that nest egg, it'll always be there. And it really, given the outgoing sales of some of these players, it won't take much to just keep topping it off.
Do you think that there is like an internal prediction market within MLS just for GMs, and that maybe Chris Albright put $1 million in GAM on FC Cincinnati to lose 6-1 to New England? And it was like, no, we got to take this one for the team because I have a very strong position in us getting the shit beat out of us by New England.
Surely there's a GAM bank that you can make GAM loans to, and you can buy GAM CDs. And
yeah,
this league would be so much better. I've said this before. This league would be so much better if the GMs were allowed to like bet,
yes,
or like have side action going with GAM for one another.
Gamble the game, baby.
Yeah, like can you imagine if like some of those Philly matchups, it was Pat Noonan and Chris Albright versus Ernst Tanner and Jim Curtin. If there was a friendly $100,000 GAM wager that was on the match, and it was like noted, like, you know, hey, we're being fully transparent on this. The GMs have a handshake agreement for $100,000 in GAM based on the winner of this game. That'd be electric.
I don't know why they don't do this. I think it would be a ton of fun. I think that they should offer more wagers in MLS. I'd even go as far as to say wager players. You know, maybe a homegrown player is on the line. Paul Walter's MLS rights are on the line this weekend.
Yeah, it's like that. You end up with a permanent extra designated player spot because someone got too over their skis confident in the course of a 3-game MLS series.
Man, I always forget the team, but somebody traded a permanent international spot.
Yeah, I think it was San Jose.
San Jose and RSL, I think.
Yeah, but like originally, I think it was San Jose. And so it's now Houston that has one less international spot because they relocated.
That's awesome.
I got to fact check this right here.
Yeah, please see if you can find that.
But I will say that Chris Albright insinuated that Brian Ramirez is Max Tam.
Okay. So yeah, that tracks. So what do I have? So I was guessing 1.7 and Max Tam is like 1.8. So we're right in there. So that's about what I would have assumed. So that tells me we did not pay down his gap, or he's making more than I anticipated. We'll see what happens with the salary release, or both.
Yeah.
Damon, what else came out of the press conference today?
What else did come out? I asked Chris about the Neymar rumors.
Yes.
He did not go into it. Said that it is,
I would have been. Can you imagine if you would have been like, so Chris, what's going on with the Neymar thing? Oh yeah, no, I was just talking to Neymar the other day. He's really excited to be coming here.
He gave me a little bit of a hard time because I was like, hey, so I heard there's been some rumors that you guys are talking to Neymar, and he's like, yeah, I heard that too. And I was like, you guys already have 3 DPs. You don't really have the money to pay for him. And he's like, yeah, I heard that too. But he took that.
Talking to Neymar. Yeah, I heard that too. Where'd you hear it from? Because I heard it from Jeff Birding.
He took that opportunity to, I think, double down on comments he's made before, which was that like they were never not going to sign Miles Robinson, no matter, I guess, no matter what. They were never letting him leave. And he did say
kidnapping in certain circumstances.
He did say that they think he's the best center back in MLS. I would have agreed with him a couple weeks ago. He has not been playing great lately, but I do think he is one of, if not like he's top 5 at the very least of best center backs currently in MLS. So I get it. Like you on top of you want your offense to score, you also want your defense to not let people score. So having one of the better defenders or one of the best defenders in MLS makes sense. Is it a little silly with the roster rules? Maybe, but we're also probably, give or take, a year and a half away from that changing. So,
yeah, I don't know. It's like the debate is sort of, I don't know about you, Kevin. I'm kind of tired of it at this point. Yeah. There's nothing new to say about it. It's every time the defense looks bad, it's why do we have a center back making a designated player on a designated player contract? Every time the offense struggles, it's why do we have a designated player center back?
Yeah.
When the defense is good,
all the time.
Yeah. When the defense is good, it's like, well, it should look that way. You have a designated player center back. Like Miles is never going to win here. And there is no, and honestly, there's no argument to make where he should win. So it is what it is. And I've now moved to the point on this topic of I will not be mad about it any longer, or I will not express anger about it any longer until we find out that he is still a designated player or the equivalent thereof under the new CBA or new roster rules. If we get to those and he is still somehow hamstringing this roster, yeah, I'll get mad again about it. But until that point, whatever. It's obvious that they like him in the building.
Yeah.
It's obvious they value what he brings tremendously. I don't see it, but I'm also a moron and I don't run a soccer team. So it's, they love him. And there is nothing that any moron with a microphone and a podcast that's going to convince Pat Noonan and Chris Albright that Miles Robinson isn't worth the money they're paying him. They obviously love what he brings to this team. And listening to the press conference as well, I don't put a dime worth of value on it. Chris made a special mention of the idea that it would be cool to see Miles Robinson representing FC Cincinnati at the World Cup. I don't give a fuck about that. I just want to see him win soccer games. The U.S. men's national team can get eliminated in the group stage with Miles or without Miles for all I care. They're getting eliminated in the group stage either way. But in the building, they clearly seem to like that idea.
Yeah.
He said that about a couple different players too. And it was just kind of like, that seems to be a big thing for them right now.
We have seen it time and time again. They love a player that plays for their national team. That is a part of the profile of player that they pursue at all times. I do think there's a version of this, and I don't know if he mentioned it. So Damon, please let me know if he did. I think there's certainly a version of the designated player center back works well if he's basically doing the job of two players, or allows, in this case, would allow you to say start an Andreas Schürrle more often, because Robinson's able to make up for any of the deficiencies in Schürrle's game now to allow Schürrle to develop. Then you go, okay, between the two of them, we have an average amount of spend on the roster, and it gives us a runway for the young guy to get better. We'll figure out, whatever's going on the other side. I think what really hurts the sort of roster build, and particularly Miles Robinson, is the aforementioned Teenage Hadabi and Matt Miazga contracts, where you have now invested 3 of your most expensive players in the back line. And certainly as we go into May, 2 of those 3 don't look like they should be starters at this point. So even if they are healthy, so we'll see exactly how it all shakes out, but that certainly played a role. But yeah, David, did any of the youngsters, particularly Andre Schürrle, who's been the flavor of the last 2 weeks, come up in the press conference?
Yeah, of course, because he is, as you said, the flavor of the week, or the last couple of weeks. And to that credit, Kenji Bomadim also came up. Just the academy in general, because obviously Dado being one of the first people to kind of come up through the academy, and now Schürrle, Kenji being a super draft pick and working with the 2 team for a long time. That is a big thing for FC Cincinnati. They're building what some of these older, more established teams have, which is a good academy, and the academy is doing well. They have some people doing well, or some some like U15, U14,
including someone with the last name Albright on the jersey from what I've seen on social media.
They're doing really well. They've made it far in the GA Cup. They've got some playoff games coming up from what Carter was nerdy about today. And so I mean, this is the future. Like this is how the team survives in a league that maybe has less of a salary cap, so where you're not competing with those Miamis who can spend money left and right, or the LAs who can spend money left and right, or theoretically New York, but apparently no one wants to play there. I haven't seen it. Yeah. So this is, building from the floor up, and also it's a great way to cheaply build players up and then sell them and make money.
Yeah.
So you can afford those Neymars or players who aren't old and are still good.
There ain't enough Dados to sell in the world to make up for the salary you're gonna have to pay Neymar to come here. So I guess big picture, Damon, what was your biggest takeaway from the Chris Albright media appearance today? What was the vibe that you got coming out of that?
I think he's hopeful. I think he has a plan, and obviously you've spoken about it, and we've spoken about it, about what's going on with that back line. I do think the emergence of Andre Schürrle helps lessen the load a little bit, to where now you can ship one of those other guys off and you don't lose as much as you thought you would lose. You don't have to go out and get a, max 10 player to replace them. You can bring in another U22, or you can bring in someone a little bit cheaper who can come off the bench, because your homegrown supplemental spot player is good enough to start. And then you have Nick Hagelin in a fairly cheap deal ready to start. And you have Gilberto Flores on a pretty cheap deal, or a U22 deal, ready to watch the game. And
that was cold.
Damn.
That was cold.
Every time that he gets a shot, he seems to squander it. And I don't I feel bad for him because I want him to succeed, but he doesn't. He just doesn't. And so, I think big picture, we should look. I'm always about the youth. I'm the opposite of Chief. I am a play the kids kind of guy. Because how are you going to know how good they are unless you play them? And
send them to Louisville and watch them there.
I don't disagree. I do think they should loan out more, but especially if they're going to use the two.
The Chelsea shirt, the whole loan army. You field 3 or 4 Premier League teams with the guys on.
Yeah, we Chelsea definitely didn't get sanctioned by governing bodies for doing just that. Why do you ask?
But especially if they're going to use the 2 team as just like a revolving door of like, let's bring in whoever, watch them, see if they're any good, and then bring them up if they are. Ship off some of those guys. Ship off your Stefan Schürrles, your obviously Paul Walters is already in Ireland, and I have no idea if he's even playing. But
it'd be funny to call Paul Walters one day and just see if he answers. Like, are you alive? Like, are you sober?
Should we check on you? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, no, are you in Temple Bar right now? It sounds really loud where you're at.
Call him the night before a game. Just see what the vibe is.
I got this mental image that he's like Jake Taylor from Major League, where you call and he's like passed out in a bed, hungover.
He's on his study abroad. Okay, let him live.
Yeah,
okay?
I know a lot of people that did study abroads. I know how that works out. You get gored by a bull.
Though if he gets gored by a bull in Ireland, it is a much better story.
Right. Look, if you get gored by a bull, you're never going to fear someone charging in to get a header on you.
God, that is so true. They should actually do that in training. They should do bullfighting.
Yeah, just bring in bullfighting. Yeah,
it's very much gives the vibes of if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
I think that's good advice. I think that stacks up.
It tracks.
Oh God. Well, hey, thank you, Damon, for going to the press conference. Stick around with us because we're gonna head on over to part 2. We're gonna answer some Patreon questions, and then we're gonna look ahead to Chicago, and then we'll get you out of here.
Today's episode of the Cincy Postcast is also brought to you by E&L Roofing. Look, I get it. Hearing the words new roof can cause your stress levels to elevate. But when you need a new roof, the folks at E&L Roofing can help make that process easier. Since 2009, they've been serving the greater Cincinnati area and helping to keep everyone safe, dry, and covered, no matter what life brings you. It's springtime storm season, and it's a great time to get your roof checked out. Me, I had the folks from E&L out at my place recently for some work. Honestly, could not have been happier with the result. Even caused my mother-in-law to say, picked out a nice color on that. You know what? It's a win in my book. Plus, if you need siding and gutter work done, they've got you covered there too. And as a special value for our listeners, mention the Cincy Postcast when scheduling your inspection for up to 20% off a replacement roof, replacement siding, or replacement gutters. You can find them on the web and schedule your free inspection at elroofing.com or L Roofing if you're listening to this on Cinco de Mayo. elroofing.com. E&L Roofing, keeping you covered, even if the back three for FC Cincinnati doesn't always.
All right, and we are back. And with us being back, that means we are answering some Patreon questions, folks. If you didn't know, you can support us financially, emotionally, and spiritually by donating to us on Patreon. It is a totally volunteer thing. You get a couple of perks out there, including some ad-free episodes. We need to schedule a happy hour. We are well behind on doing that. And you get at the higher levels, you get some discounts on merch and stuff, which is really fun. That money goes into the show. Nobody's making a profit off of this on my end. One of the things that we're doing is paying Damon for writing and being able to go out and cover these press conferences. So you are getting something for.
And
Damon, would you like to tell the people where some of this Patreon money has gone recently?
Oh, we're announcing it now. Okay,
let's do it now, baby. During the Patreon
Why
plug.
Not? Why not?
Yeah, you've been teasing things all week.
I have been
What's
teasing
going on?
it.
You're vague posting.
Yes, I will be traveling up to Chicago this weekend for the first time as an away day reporter.
Oh,
nice.
Wow.
Yes.
Awesome.
I love it. The Post, for the first time in history, is sending an intrepid reporter on the road to be a part of an in-game, away game press conference. This is dope. Damon, I may need you to pick up a baseball while we're there. I'll talk to you about that later.
I don't know if I agreed to this, but
don't worry about it. I got a guy you may have to meet up with.
Yeah, your Patreon money will be
to someone.
Your Patreon money will be going to Damon covering this team and providing live on the ground reporting from Chicago. And also picking up a toy for Kevin's kid. So
these are both equally very important.
Right.
You know, if it's for Sonny or Shayla, I'll do it. So it's fine.
So with that, Folks can also ask questions if they pay, and we answer them on the show. We also have a voicemail box where people can drop off their opinions via audio, which is the preferred way, by the way. So please do that. So here is our first voicemail.
Hello, guys. So my opinion is I've just been seeing Chief talk shit about Danke and stuff online, which I usually follow along with his takes. But if you look around the league and these other rumored signings we were supposed to have, Danke blows them out of the water. And Danke is one of the best nines in the league. It's not a Danke issue. I don't know if it's a player issue. I love Pat, but it might be time for this guy to go. I just don't understand the Danke hate. He's been one of our main workhorses and only goal scorers this year. So it's not really even a question, just more kind of a statement. I do not understand the Danke hate. He's been such a big player for us.
Thank you.
As
now,
a number
should
9.
be noted, this was sent April 11th.
Vibe's a little higher now, I would say.
Vibes are different. Chief, do you repent?
I have never, as far as I know, nobody checked the tapes on this. Because I don't want to know if I'm nobody go back. You're not allowed, by listening to this portion of the show, you're not allowed to fact check me on
That's
this.
True.
That's you agreed to that. You consent. I don't think Kevin Danke is a bad player. I have never said Kevin Danke is a bad player. My take on Kevin Danke remains the same. I'm very happy with how he's playing right now. I think you would be an idiot not to say he's been incredibly productive over the last couple of weeks for FC Cincinnati. He's having a pretty good year this year so far in terms of total goal contributions and goals scored. My take with Danke has always been that if I am going to be paying a designated player, I do not want that player to ever have a but he needs. Your designated player needs to be someone who is just, he does his thing regardless of the quality of talent around him. And so for a striker, like there's been plenty of incredible strikers around the world who are reliant on getting good service in order to do what they do. Danke needs decent service or needs service in order to do what he does. To me, in a salary capped league where you're limited on designated players, I would be moving heaven and earth to find a striker or a player like a Denny Bouanga who does not need good service and can create something out of nothing. Lucho Acosta was a player who did not need great things happening around him. He could create something out of nothing. I would always be, until they change the rules in this league, I would always be striving to find that player who can create something out of nothing for you instead of, disappearing because the ball doesn't find him on a given night. That's my only point about Kevin Danke. I mean, he's a phenomenal player. I just think that if you have 3 spots, and on this team, you really only have 2 spots that you can use on the offense. Neither one of them can ever be a guy that disappears because something isn't happening around him. And that is my sole position on Kevin Danke. I think he's a great player. I think he's been great for this team. I wish, he was, I wish he stayed home late at night a little more often when it comes to getting on the road. But other than that, no complaints, man. Like, I just don't know that type of player is the best use of a designated player spot in MLS.
I could see where the argument comes from for sure. And certainly around the time that this voicemail came in, and before, he was not quite scoring at the clip he has been the last couple of games. So
yeah, dude's had like two straight 2-goal games. Like, what do you want me to say? Like, he's been awesome, but I'm also aware that he sometimes will go a month or a couple weeks without scoring because the ball just doesn't get to him. And on a team that, is a little passing challenge from times, I don't know that I love that. But
yeah. And we've certainly
not gonna argue.
Highlighted the lack of touches in the box is not necessarily a him problem, but that goes to your point of you don't want a guy in that position basically being limited by the rest of the team. Yeah. Next voicemail here.
Red Bull, yeah, you know what I mean. 6 string back line, but we kept it all clean. They tried to press, but he broke that line. Quick 1, 2, deep flip in their spine. Gorilla in the middle, running plays that popped up too. How you didn't know we ain't no cyclops. Speaking of vision, what can you say? Rep only making calls, cash me parlay. Keeper got the ball for rushing the play. Then he giving corners like you bet in the day. But here's my question at the end of the bars. What the hell is up with VAR?
Best voicemail.
You know what? I don't want to know
ever.
how many data centers were taken offline to make that, but it was all worth it.
If that was not AI, please send me the actual audio clip.
Yeah, send me your mixtape. If that was somebody actually
Yes.
doing that, send me your mixtape. I will absolutely join your street team for that.
I'm convinced it was Kenji Bomadem because that sounded French as fuck.
Oh, you know
Dude,
what that means. If it sounded French, it could have been Das Harks.
Dude, if Kenji Bomadem is submitting rap tapes to this podcast, he can start forever. Like just in ink the rest of time.
Yeah, that was Kenji Bomadem. It's my head canon. Okay.
Sure.
I have no reason to believe it was. I have no reason to believe it wasn't.
Many people noting.
So that takes us over to the written portion of the exam. This comes to us from Matt S. He says, in your professional board gaming opinion, have any of us been paid to play a board game?
No.
No.
Oh, that's right. That was your brother. Sorry. I was thinking of the board game, the board game bar.
My brother was a professional board game player, I guess, at that point. What is the best character in Heroes of Barcadia? If you haven't played or talked about that game before, it's probably worth a Google. Well, Matt, we did Google it. And
none of us have played it.
none of us have played this.
Not at all.
I'm getting big
$70 for a board game? Insane. Don't do it.
It's insane for what feels like the lack of miniatures. I've seen Scythe and some of those that get very pricey. Twilight Imperium, I think it's like $150 retail.
Gloomhaven's like $500 or some shit like that.
But you're getting
Fuck
a
that.
lot of little things, okay?
Right.
This one screams Munchkin. I don't know if we've ever played Munchkin. It screams Munchkin.
I thought you were just making fun of little people.
No. How
Can't say that.
How dare.
Little people or Munchkin?
No, Munchkin. Yeah, you can't call him that.
That's the name of the game. Anyway, a couple of things. I like the Gen Con references all over this. I've been to Gen Con before, so that's fun. And more people should go to it. But no, this is what I would like to do at some point. I would love to organize a Twilight Imperium live stream and get 6 or 8 people to play Twilight Imperium. I think it'd be a blast. I think it'd be a lot of fun. And I can't ever get people to agree to play. So I think if I try to turn it into an event, I could force people to do it.
I don't play a lot of board games. My brother-in-law and my sister-in-law are big board game enthusiasts, and I always have fun. It's just not something that I ever have, a ton of time to do. I play a lot of video games. That's my sort of vice. I did have a really uncomfortable moment playing a video game the other day, though. I'm going to show this on the screen right here. Oh, no. I ran into an NPC that has my own name. Like my government last name.
Oh, no.
And that was really unsettling. And his dialogue wasn't even that good in the game either. So I was like, they nailed me in that front. I have nothing interesting to say. But that was a fully immersion breaking experience. Your boy plays a lot of RPGs, JRPGs. You get used to just seeing weird names with the characters in the town and the townsfolk. When you see your name there, it's like,
Yeah,
What?
You've got to go visit. You got to go talk to the town drunk, Kevin Wallace. He has the quest for you. Wait, hey,
Right. But even like even Kevin Wallace, it's like, okay, there's probably a few Kevin Wallaces running around.
True. There's not a lot of yous running around.
There's not a lot. No, there's not a lot of. You don't see a lot of me running around.
Or not.
Chief. Depending on the game, could be tons of chiefs. Okay, this next question comes to the answer is we haven't seen it, but sell it to me. Give me the pitch in the Discord. Okay, I'm open-minded. There are very few board games I would dismiss out of hand, so sell it to me. I saw it was waterproof. Very funny selling point for a video or for a board game to be that it's waterproof. Yeah,
when I was again, common theme of stories that I tell. I was a little overserved one night. Ruined an entire set of the card game Dixit that my brother-in-law and sister-in-law own, spilling an entire beer directly on the card set. So I still feel bad about that one.
And I'm going to guess there's a couple expansion packs in there. Damn, that hurts.
Yeah, no, tough scenes.
That hurts. This is a good question. Well, I don't know that we would ever get Grayson to answer this question, so this makes sense to answer without him. Sed asks, on a scale of 1 to 10, how supportive are your spouses of the pod? Inversely, on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy will they be if you ever, let's hope never, decide to hang it up?
Kevin, you can start with that one.
I
feel like your wife is the most supportive. That's of the podcast wives.
Funny because I don't always feel that way. So here's the tricky thing of the three of us. David, I'm going to exclude you for a moment just to talk to the spirit of the question.
How dare you?
This also applies to you. None of y'all have kids, which does add a slightly different, interesting wrinkle to the mix of, especially as the kids are getting a little bit older now. When they were very young, this was very easy to be like, oh, they're in bed by the time we're recording. Now we've got real life is bumping up into recording time. In general, though, I definitely say my wife is happy that I have friends and a hobby, which is good to have. I've also been able to demonstrate that, without going into the details of everything, but it has made money. So it's not a waste in that sense, just in the sense that it is growing.
It's paid for itself.
Yes.
This is of all the hobbies you can have.
Yes.
Now, number one, it's embarrassing to say my husband has a podcast. That's something that you're just never going to get over.
Yeah, that's right.
But in terms of hobbies, it doesn't cost money. We're fortunate enough with the Patreon to pay for our hosting cost. And, the rest of the money goes to, dumb things that make the show better. Yeah. We're very much trying to do good things that make the show better, which is have people that are reporting live at the games, having, Damon doing his stuff at training. I hope that everyone's noticed as well that we're getting more video from the post-game media scrums. We had video immediately after the Albright availability today. We've got a social media guy who does it as a volunteer. I would love to start paying him to do that too. My goal with all of this is that if we sell more ads or we get more Patreon subscribers, my ultimate goal is to pay for content. I don't want to make money off this. I've got a 9 to 5 already, or a 9 to 7, 9 to 8, depending on the situation. But of the hobbies you can have, it's not like golf where you're gone for 4 hours at a stretch and you're paying money to be on paying money for greens fees and buying clubs and all that. You do it from your own house because we record remotely. We're not all going to a location to do this. It's mostly harmless fun, I would say, in terms of spousal commitment.
Yeah. I completely agree with that. And yeah, that's what I mean was like, I'm not paying money. There are certainly more expensive hobbies, board gaming among them. I have an absurd collection from back when that was my vice. Right. So, yeah, I think that has definitely been a net positive.
Did you have was it a tough conversation explaining to the wife we were starting a second show?
So the second show, it's funny. I think only
she doesn't know about it.
She guys, I need you to keep that quiet.
Guys, ixnay.
Don't mention the second show around the wife. It's like yeah. Anyway, I was gonna go on a tangent. Yeah, so like the second show, we had already committed to doing 2 episodes a week of the postcast, which was, I think a good decision. And that was certainly like the toughest thing. Where like the mindset came from was like, hey, we're already committing 2 days of the week, and we don't always have a full amount of content for the second FCC show. Like that is a lot about one team that plays once a week, generally speaking. So like breaking it off into MLS, which is like kind of what we had started to do with the Thursday episode anyway. Like, I think it's still the same general time commitment. It's a little bit more editing just because like I have to make a new file and import some stuff, but not that much. So yeah, I think that's been fine. Would they be happy if we ever stopped? I mean, that's kind of the thing. It's like, I think there'd be pluses and minuses. Like, I'm sure I like to assume my wife likes me and wouldn't mind spending more time with me, but I think also she would be sad that like my hobby went away and like I'm not talking with my friends as much. So yeah, I get lucky on this front because my wife she works early in the mornings, so she tends to go to bed a little bit earlier than I do anyway. That's always been the case since we got married. Yeah.
So this is just sort of time where she assumed I was watching sports or playing video games or doing something non-productive anyway. So that kind of does help things out a little bit. She does tease me relentlessly about being a podcast bro. Oh. So there's that.
It's tough.
But
that's honestly
podcast.
The hardest part.
It is not a good podcast. It is not a good podcast. No.
Yeah. So there you go. I couldn't even begin to guess what Grayson's answer would have been. James St. John asks, and this is our final question. And Damon, I'll go to you first on this one. Does FC Cincinnati have a top 5 ownership group in MLS?
Fuck. Yes. As someone who knows very little about the ownership of other teams, I'll say yes.
The only ownership groups I would say that are above FC Cincinnati. I don't even know that there are any that are above FC Cincinnati. They're just ownership groups that perhaps have
more money,
more money,
or
more access to resources. But like in terms of ambition, check.
Yeah.
In terms of willingness to spend and pay transfer fees, spend at a level, probably deficit spend to a certain extent.
Oh, for sure.
Large extent, check. Commitment to facilities, check. I don't know anyone that's better than what we're doing right now. Like who would you take? Like what, you want Arthur Blank? Where they play in an NFL stadium? They spend a lot of money, but their facilities aren't better. They don't have dedicated facilities like we do.
I mean, the Haslam's just got a NWSL team because their facilities are great.
I guess that's like the one real knock, right? Is that they haven't invested on the women's side at all.
But like, okay,
right,
sure.
But it's like literally
that sucks. But that sucks. But like
criticism I can really come up with as an ownership group.
But then like you read a story,
it's not for lack of trying either.
But then you read a story like today where they had to give Columbus a $200 million NWSL team because if they didn't, then Arthur Blank would get money back because his expansion thing for NWSL had a clause that said if the next franchise wasn't awarded at over $200 million, he would be able to claw money back. Like,
Yeah.
There's all sorts of nonsense that makes that league not fun to deal with. I think the only ownership groups where you're like, okay, I could see you making the argument would be Miami, LAFC, and at that point, I don't know how much further I go with anybody else.
Like potentially Galaxy, but it does feel like Galaxy's ownership kind of forgets they own the Galaxy every once in a while.
Right.
So it's like when their ownership is paying attention, is dope as hell. You get Zlatan, you get, tons of trophies. They've got a great spot there. The last 2 years, it's not clear that Phil Anschultz knows that he still owns the LA Galaxy.
It is weird the amount of pressure they put on one player to save their entire team.
Yeah.
If I'm Ricky Puig, I'm demanding to leave.
Right. Do you want Merritt Paulson with all the shit they went through in Portland? Like they were considered a model franchise forever.
Yeah.
Or model team forever. That's a problem out there.
Yeah, Philly
Seattle. Seattle, they don't have the facilities. They're
Seattle's the one where I think you'd rather take the organization, not necessarily ownership. Where it's like ownership isn't building them their own dedicated soccer facility. They're playing in the Seahawks Stadium, which, by the way, just painted the Seattle North End is a giant Seahawk now. So it doesn't even pretend to be a joint stadium. It's the Seahawks Stadium now.
Yeah, always has been.
Always has been. But you could squint and kind of imagine it was the Sounders one. But yes, in terms of roster turnover and coaching success and general manager turnover and success, they are the dream franchise. But ownership, they don't spend a lot on transfer fees. How much better would they be if they invested $3 million extra a year into that roster? Probably better, but they don't do that. They haven't spent more than $5 million in transfers in a single season in 10 years or something like that. It's been a long time.
Right. So I don't have any complaints about FC Cincinnati's ownership group, at all. You can quibble with individual decisions that have been made in terms of team.
Yeah.
But it's been first class since jump.
Yeah. Well, there we go. That answers all of our Patreon questions. Let's get on over to part 3. Let's talk about Chicago. And let's get you out of here. All right, we are back. And it is a big match this weekend. FC Cincinnati goes on the road to take on the Chicago Fire at Soldier Field.
We just play these guys.
We did. MLS has a very funny little quirk right now where every matchup in these last 2 weeks are replays
a rematch
of the last within the last month. I noticed
4-18, 3-3.
Yeah. We did this recently with Toronto as well, where we played them back to back fairly quickly.
Red Bull.
Yeah, Red Bull is the one I was more thinking of. But I do think, we did the same thing with Toronto already. I think we played Toronto both times twice this year.
Yep. Cool.
Weird decisions. So
are you excited to start May, the last month of FC Cincinnati games, until late July? We will play 5 times in May, and then after May ends, our next game won't be until July 22nd, which if you're counting at home, that is a 7-week break.
I'm still not entirely sure what the podcasts look like during that time period.
What was that board game they wanted us to buy again?
I will do all the film reviews that you need.
Yeah, stay tuned on that front. We'll figure something out. Only 2 of those games in May are home games. So you got 2 more opportunities to see FC Cincinnati until late July.
Yeah. Cool. This team will play 3 home games between now and August.
Oh my God.
That's insane, right?
I'm going to forget what these guys look like. Kenji moment. I've never heard of him.
I mean, a couple weeks ago, that would have been, don't tease me with a good time.
Yeah, right. Oh, they're going away forever?
Right. So we got Chicago this weekend at Soldier Field. I think they still play at Soldier Field. Damon, you better look that up before you head up.
Yeah, don't go to SeatGeek Stadium
that's
or whatever.
the entire reason I posted a picture today of a soldier in a field.
I'm dumb. I couldn't figure out what that meant. I was like, was he like the sole survivor? He's the only one going up by himself.
No.
We got Bin Laden. Don't worry about it. 8:30 p.m. kickoff Saturday night, Chicago, FC Cincinnati. We just saw this matchup.
3-3 last time out.
Yeah, Kevin, I guess I'll lead it off by saying, or Damon, either one of you can take this whatever direction you want to go. Is there any reason to believe that this will turn out differently than it did 3-3 draw in Cincinnati the last time these two teams met? I would note that the FC only scored 2 goals in that match. The third goal was technically an own goal. So if you believe such things, the FC, in fact, lost that game and by virtue of scoring fewer goals than their opponent. However, if I remember correctly, I do think they won the XG that night. Hold, please, while I confirm. They did.
Destroyed the XG.
Yeah, absolutely annihilated. 4.1 to 1.75. Folks, that's an ass kicking on the spreadsheet where it really matters.
We are a process-oriented podcast. But yeah, David, do you think this goes differently this go around?
Yes. If I remember correctly, and if anyone wants to fact check me, that's fine. Chicago had quite a few injuries going into that game. I know
Bamba didn't play, I didn't think, last time.
Play. There were some other people who didn't play. And I don't know, I have honestly done zero research. I am not a research-oriented person. But if those people are back and we are still missing a center back or two, that's not going to lead into good things. Do I believe in the lineup that happened last week? To an extent. But I also think the surprise of that lineup is probably a significant part of why it worked. Like, who really expected Pavel Buka to be on the wing?
Yeah. Nobody.
Who expected Dado to be a defensive midfielder? Nobody. Should he be that going forward? Probably. Who expected Sam Geedy to be center back? Like there's so many different things of like, did you expect this to happen? And I think the surprise of it was what helped make it work. That being said, Hugo Kuipers has the second highest expected goal average of like anyone in the top 10 of goals scored this season.
Yeah.
So that's not ideal, especially with us going through this injury crisis. It could go well. I don't know if I expect it to. I would expect little to nothing from this game. Like, I don't know if I would expect a win. A draw would be great, and a loss should be the expectation, in my opinion.
Worth noting that at the time of taping tonight, the Chicago Fire did fall to St. Louis City FC in the U.S. Open Cup tonight, which you would think is a kind of a shocking result. And based on looking at the lineups just now, Chicago Kuipers started this game, was subbed out later in the contest. Zinkernagel plays the entire game.
Oh boy!
So, given that May is going to be a fairly heavy month for most MLS teams, I think just about every team in the league has between 5 and 6 games in May.
Yeah.
Maybe you see a little bit of rotation from Chicago in this match.
Yeah, can I take back my entire thing.
Maybe, I don't know. Like,
yeah, St. Louis is not a great team.
St. Louis is not a great team, no. But having said that, Chicago is, I believe, other than this aberration right here, they are unbeaten since March 14th. This is their first loss in all competitions. That includes wins over Nashville. Well, I mean, you're not gonna brag over beating Atlanta, KC, Detroit, or drawing us, but you know, I think that we're all in agreement that Chicago is one of the best teams in the league this year when they're healthy.
Yeah.
And when they are starting their first choice lineup, I think they are probably the second or third best team in the East. I think the only teams that clear them clearly in the East would be Nashville and Miami when Miami is healthy.
Yeah, maybe.
But even Miami's had kind of a slow start this year.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess, all right, next question then. What do you expect from the lineup for this week? We saw today that Nick Hagglund is back in training. Matt Miazga is back in training or doing some training. Maybe my working theory is that both of them saw Andre Chirilla play on Saturday and they were like, the hell with this. I ain't getting Wally pipped by this little pipsqueak.
Yeah. Not today, little man.
Right.
Chirilla has to start, right? Like you could start one or even both of Nick and Matt if you had to, but I don't see any reason why you don't start Chirilla until he costs you a game. Like he has looked the part so far out there.
He did kind of cost them a game with that performance against New England. So it's not like I mean, everybody looked like ass. You're right about that.
Yeah,
in a 6-1 loss. Yeah, no
he
one is to
blended
blame.
right in. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right. Okay. So given that, what is your center back? What is your back line for this game?
God, can I say Hagglund, Chirilla, Guidi?
You could be wacky, but you could.
I kind of like that.
I will say in training so I think Miazga is going to be on a minutes limit no matter what, whether he starts or doesn't start. He's going to be on a minutes limit. And when he was out, it was Guidi at center back.
Okay. So
with Chirilla and Hagglund.
Would make a lot of sense. Chirilla having the being left foot so that he can play and help out a little bit on the Guidi side. Hagglund plays on the right, Guidi plays on the left, Chirilla in the middle. You don't want Chirilla on the right-hand side just because of footedness, but you give that to Hagglund over there. Wouldn't hate it. I mean, of all the options they have available to them, I think that if it isn't Hagglund, it's probably going to be Kyle Smith again.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could also slot Alvis Powell over there, but I think they like Powell coming off the bench.
I don't think he's ready because he was on the side with Miles and Obi.
Yeah. Okay.
So do you just run it back from last week? See what happens?
I think you
kind of like that idea
with Hagglund in for Kyle Smith.
Yeah.
But Buka on the wing again?
Coin flip for me. I think I'd start Echenike, but I see the reason why you'd start Buka. I guess it depends on what they're trying to get out of the exact matchup, right? Like, what do they match up better against with Chicago if they feel like they can beat them with speed or if they feel like they're going to hold on to the ball more? They held on to the ball more last time they played. And also keep in mind, last time Denke was unavailable. I believe that was him serving his red card suspension.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
So I think I'd start Echenike, but I could go either way on it.
Buka on the wing. I saw enough of Buka on the wing that I want to see it again. And the thing about putting Buka in the midfield is that probably means you're taking off Dado Valenzuela.
Yeah, I need Dado there.
I think the other one, you take off Brian. I think you have Pavel do the Brian role and Dado in the midfield being the passer.
Sorry. You mean Brian Anunga?
Yeah, Brian Anunga. Yeah,
I thought you were talking about Brian Ramirez. I was like, that's an insane idea.
For me, I would take off Brian Ramirez for literally anyone.
How dare you? He had such a good game last time out.
He had, okay. He couldn't move the ball forward, but literally stopped. I had a full conversation with other people in the press box about this. He literally would stop going forward if he saw one person in front of him, and he would pass the ball back.
Hey,
like
my man's not losing that ball for nothing. Okay,
exactly right.
Okay,
it's ball. Some people call that ball security right there.
Other people call it cowardice, but no. Brian Anunga comes off. I think Pavel starts in the midfield with Dado and Echnike and Ramirez on the wings. The thing that I don't love about that is that sometimes when Brian plays too forward, he is very slow to get back on defense. Very Alvaro Barreal slow at getting back on defense. And when you have Ender on the other side, that's not great because he's also very slow, like Luca Orshano is slow at getting back on defense at times.
You did not have that issue with Pavel Buka. Pavel Buka was not slow ever at anything.
No. And he was very even when his passing was not ideal at times in the last game.
So you're saying he's an FC Cincinnati player.
He is. But he was absolutely ready to just, when he turned that ball over and it happened, he was ready to go the other way.
Yeah.
And that's what you want on at least one of the wings. That's why I think at times the Lucas Engel and Luca Orshano duo worked better than the Barreal Santi Arias duo worked better. This one doesn't work as well, and I think it hurts the defense and is at least part of the reason why we've been giving up so many goals.
I guess predictions then, guys. Kevin, what do you got?
Dude, 3-1 FC Cincinnati. This is the moment that FC Cincinnati reasserts themselves over the Eastern Conference.
I am going to predict another draw. Go 3-3 again. Run it back.
I mean, all evidence up till now would point to that being the case.
Yeah, hold on. 2-2. 2-2. The defense has gotten a little better.
There we go. Damon, you predicted a loss earlier. You sticking with it?
Yes. I'm going to go 2-1 Chicago.
Oh. Okay. Well,
Kuipers with a brace.
That would hurt.
He did that last time.
He's kind of a hateable looking dude. We don't talk about that enough. There's something looks off about him.
I also think Chris Brady is underrated as a goalkeeper and will stop quite a few of our shots coming through.
That's actually fair. And thinking back to the last time they played, he was absurdly good.
He was really good.
Yeah, really, really good. You don't get a 4.12 XG and only score 3 goals unless the goalkeeper's doing some head standing, if you will.
Yeah.
Is that it for the people, Kevin?
I think that's it. I think we're at an episode.
Damon, good work today.
Thank you.
Be safe in Chicago. Eat pizza. Don't get stuck in traffic. All that good stuff. And fuck Columbus.
The Cincy Postcast is a production of The Post Cincy. You can check us out online at thepostcincy.com. You can also follow us on Twitter and Blue Sky, Facebook, and Instagram. Twitter and Blue Sky, though, you'll find we're a little more active than the other places. We're also on YouTube, where you can listen to this episode if you aren't listening to it already. We are also putting up video content semi-regularly, including the Away Days series. We want to give a huge thank you to Jim Trace and the Makers for providing the music for this episode. They're a lovely band, and you can find more information out about them in the description of this episode. And if you happen to enjoy what you just heard, can I please ask that you like us, that you rate us on whatever app you're listening to, and maybe more importantly than all of that, share this episode with a friend. When it comes up at work, you're talking about FC Cincinnati, I say, hey, I listened to an FC Cincinnati podcast. I think you guys will like it. It would really, really help us out. Nothing helps a podcast travel more than a good recommendation from a friend, family member. That would be awesome. When it comes to the sorting algorithms that control our lives, a 5-star review would be much appreciated. Also, leaving a sort of written review weirdly does more than that. That's how the algorithms work. So maybe say a nice or a mean thing, whatever. Just as long as you give us 5 stars, that'll really, really, really help us out. And if you are looking for more MLS content, check out our other podcast, The World's Gam. Again, a link will be in the description of this episode. That is where we touch on league-wide storylines and news, and we talk about other games and a couple other teams in there as well. I think you will enjoy it if you are just dipping your toes into Major League Soccer. A huge thank you to all of our sponsors, a even bigger thank you to all of our patrons over at Patreon, but maybe most importantly, thank you for listening to this episode.